Way down, in the crushing, silent darkness of the deep ocean, a secret conflict is unfolding. Now, this isn't a battle fought with ships or submarines. Nope, it's fought with giant robotic machines, with geopolitical strategy, and with trillions of dollars on the line. This is the battle for the bottom of the world, and believe it or not, it's happening right now.
So what's the deal with this secret war? Well, it's essentially a silent race for control over one of the last truly unexplored frontiers left on our entire planet.
I mean, you've got to wonder, right? What could possibly be valuable enough to drive the world's most powerful nations to the deepest, darkest, most hostile parts of the Earth? The answer isn't gold or diamonds. It's actually something far more critical for our future.
As we speak, 19 different countries are maneuvering for position, they're deploying incredibly advanced technology, and they're staking claims in a territory that almost no human being has ever laid eyes on. The competition is absolutely fierce, and it's all happening in total silence.
This right here is the main battlefield, the Clarion-Clipperton Zone, out in the Pacific. And just to give you a sense of the scale we're talking about, this single zone is so vast, you could fit 25 United Kingdoms inside of it. It is an almost incomprehensibly massive chunk of the international seabed.
So, what is the prize? What's this trillion-dollar treasure that has everyone scrambling?
Well, it all comes down to these things. They're called polymetallic nodules. Now, they might just look like simple potato-sized rocks, but they are geological marvels. Each one is basically a condensed treasure chest of metals, formed layer by tiny layer over millions and millions of years.
And the estimated value of the metals just locked inside these nodules, in this one zone alone, a staggering $17 trillion. That's not just a lot of money. That's the kind of number that redraws economic maps and completely shifts global power.
And here's why this connects directly to our daily lives. These nodules contain huge amounts of things like manganese, nickel, and cobalt. You know, the essential ingredients for the batteries that power our electric cars, our homes, and frankly, our entire green energy future.
This chart says it all, really. The demand for nickel and cobalt is projected to skyrocket by 500% by 2050. I mean, 500%. Our land-based mines simply cannot keep up with that. The world needs these metals, and the deepest parts of the ocean have them in unbelievable abundance.
So as you can imagine, this resource rush is quickly turning into a global competition. And it isn't just about technology or economics anymore. This is a high-stakes geopolitical chess match.
And to really get why everyone's racing to the sea, you first have to understand the situation on land. Right now, China has a near monopoly. They control about 85% of the processing for these critical minerals. For Western powers, being this dependent on a single country is a massive strategic vulnerability.
Okay, so here's a quick look at how the major powers are playing their hands. You've got China leading the charge, aiming for what they call an unbreakable supply chain monopoly. Then there's the US, which hasn't ratified the UN Law of the Sea, so it's trying to go it alone. And meanwhile, India is carving its own path, developing its own homegrown technology to make sure it's not dependent on anyone.
But, and this is a really big but, this is where the story takes a dark turn. There's a deep, really unsettling paradox at the heart of this entire quest. This quote just perfectly captures the conflict. In our rush to save the planet from climate change with all this green technology, are we about to destroy the pristine, untouched ecosystems of the deep ocean to do it?
And listen, this isn't just a theory. Look at the legacy of a single, small-scale test from back in 1980. It wiped out up to 80% of the local marine life. And today, more than 45 years later, that part of the ocean floor is still a dead zone. The ecosystem has not recovered. The damage, it seems, is irreversible.
So what are we actually risking here? Thousands of species that exist only in this zone and nowhere else. And the wildest part, up to 92% of them are completely unknown to science. We're talking about a world of incredible biodiversity that we're just beginning to understand. We risk destroying entire worlds we don't even know exist yet.
The threat of deep-sea mining is, well, it's terrifying. But it's just one part of a much larger war we are already waging against our oceans. A war that's happening right now, in plain sight.
This is the part of the story that should keep all of us up at night. The damage isn't coming. It's already here, floating all around us, in plain sight.
That's the estimated number of plastic pieces currently floating in our oceans. It's a toxic soup of our own creation, forming these massive garbage patches, one of which is larger than the entire country of India.
Just let that sink in for a moment.
And the cost in animal life is devastating. 100,000 marine mammals die every single year from plastic pollution. They're either entangled in our nets or they're starving with stomachs completely full of our waste.
Think it doesn't affect you? Think again. A recent study found that 99% of fish tested for American consumption contain microplastics. We are literally eating our own trash.
But the problem goes even deeper. The most recent research found the equivalent of 1 credit card's worth of plastic in every single human brain sample they tested. It's not just in the ocean, it's inside of us.
So we come back to our question. From the silent race for nodules on the ocean floor to the plastic crisis that's now inside our own bodies, we are faced with the consequences of our choices. Every treasure has a price. The only question that really matters is, can we afford to keep paying it?